here, and welcome to Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. It's finally here after all these years.
Good afternoon. No matter where you are in the world, welcome into Global Launch and welcome into the Call of Duty Warzone Mobile live event. We're going to be live for the next 36 hours. I'm Goj, and I'm going to be joined here by Bobby, Plays, and Beef Mommy. We are super excited today, and you're going to hear the word excited probably for the next 36 hours like 1,000 times, and I'm sure you're excited at home as well. Bobby, we got to start with you. How are you feeling about the Global Launch?
I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that it's actually real at this point, especially looking back a year and a half ago. 2022 COD Next was the first time we actually got to try the game. So to see how far it's come since that time is kind of mind-blowing, and I think a lot of the community is just relieved that it's finally here.
Yeah, Beef Mommy, we were talking right before the show, and you just had this elated look on your face that you still have because you're so excited. How are you feeling?
It's funny because, like, before we actually started, broadcast was like, Beef Mommy, you look absolutely excited and elated right now. I'm just like, yeah, I am. I've been excited for the last year and a half, especially when we had the first COD Next, and it's come full circle. The set looks great. I'm super excited, and I'm one of those people, I'm in that demographic that never got to play Verdansk in the first place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, no, I am incredibly excited as well. I've been around the block for a while, and I've casted over Verdansk. I've played a ton of Verdansk, so we're kind of in the two opposite sides of the boat. You're getting to experience this kind of for the first time, and I've been basically just highly anticipating Verdansk for the last, like, 1,742 days since it launched originally on PC.
48 minutes and 33 seconds.
There you go. So, look, we have so much we want to talk about today and so many different events planned and some amazing things happening. But let's talk first and foremost just about the game. I mean, Bobby, you've had a chance to play already, and the world is starting to play right now. I mean, what's your first impressions?
I mean, it's something that's incredibly addicting already for me. I think the one thing that you got to talk about is all real players. That's something that I've wanted in a battle royale basically since I started back in 2018. I think that was like the first mobile battle royale I ever played, and it's just been bots on bots. You will not find a single bot in any of these games. It is absolutely insane how high octane it is in all the different maps and modes.
Yeah, Beef Mommy, same thing to you. I know you're getting to experience Verdansk for the first time. Like, how's it feeling so far?
I barely have any sleep, man. Like, I got bags under my eyes right now, but our makeup artist did a phenomenal job at covering them. I was up all night just watching everyone stream, and for me to finally play it when it launches today is definitely going to be super fun, and I already know I gotta wear thumb sleeves on like 6 of my fingers because I gotta get the controls down, man.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm with you too. I'm like customizing my HUD and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Well, look, it wouldn't be a Call of Duty broadcast if we don't talk about the maps. Let's see what Call of Duty Warzone Mobile has to offer. that is just the beginning. Now, we've talked about Verdansk. You saw Rebirth Island. You've got Shipment. You've got Shoot House. Bobby, talk to me about what you're seeing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a perfect mix of everything that you would want for Warzone Mobile. And obviously, some people are like, why is it called Warzone Mobile? You got multiplayer maps in there. But obviously, one of the big aspects of Warzone in general is those loadouts. And you got to level up your weapons to be able to compete at that top level. And so obviously, on the mobile side, we haven't had, at least connected to the Warzone universe, we haven't had anything to level up those guns. So the fact that you have Shipment and Shoot House, obviously two of the iconic weapon grind maps, the fact that you have that to not only level up your weapons, but also to kind of hone in your gun skills. That's been where I've been spending the majority of my time, just trying to figure out how the guns play, how the movement works, and it's definitely where you want to start out.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like, Beef Mommy, you were talking about kind of warming up kind of your HUD and getting all your settings correct. Like, that's a great place to do that, right? And that's what a lot of people do when they're warming up for their streams, is playing some of those multiplayer maps. And they're iconic maps that we've known for a really long time, and they've seamlessly integrated into Warzone Mobile.
It looks fantastic, and not just the fact that you could put your HUD there, and you can play in controller. That's one big thing that a lot of players from PC to console will definitely look forward to. But honestly, for me, after playing mobile for such a long time, starting from Call of Duty Mobile, now for Warzone Mobile, I feel like you gotta try the HUD, man.
Yeah,
pretty sure we're gonna be playing later on. I'm gonna be forcing you to play on the HUD for sure.
I'm in. Look, I've dabbled in some mobile, so we'll see what I can do. But let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. We've got a lot planned for you, and let's take a look at our schedule for today. Of course, we gotta drop into Verdansk. We gotta drop into our maps for the very first time. That's where we're gonna be starting, and then we're gonna be heading into some special ops. Now, excited to do some special ops. This is a challenge-based format with several of our content creators competing to do. Production made them very hard, by the way. Very hard challenges. Try to complete those in 2 hours, and then we're gonna have a chance to talk to some celebrities and see what they think about Warzone Mobile. If they've had their chance to get their hands on it, I think there's even some competition there between our celebrities. So really excited about that. We're gonna be heading into multiplayer mosh pit, a chance for some of our content creators to re-warm back up, get a chance to play on some of those multiplayer maps, and then we will end the day, of course, with some amazing challenges that involve throwing helicopters, driving vehicles, splattering people, blowing people up. You know, the usual Call of Duty things, the usual Warzone things, and then finally a snipers only challenge with some of our content creators. So a great day planned. And speaking of those content creators, we have an incredible list of content creators joining us from all over the world, some in person, of course, and some online at their own home setup. So in studio with us, we're going to be seeing Winsanity, TP, Symphony. I mean, talk to me about some of these names. These are some of the biggest content creators in the space.
Yeah, it's really cool because this is the first time, especially on the Call of Duty side, that we've ever seen this type of collaboration between both mainline, like PC and console type players, and mobile players. So the fact that you've got guys like Noah going up against guys like Swag, Huskers, Swifter, TP, like, there's Call of Duty world champions that have done crazy things on the console side, and also people who have been dominating the mobile scene for a long time. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, production needs to be changed. We got to put Bobby Plays on this.
I know.
I think you're supposed to be involved here, Bobby. I think we might be seeing you later as well, of course. But yeah, Beef Mommy, I mean, you were just talking about this, the controller support. Let's take a look at some of our remote participants. And on this list, you'll see, of course, some incredible mobile gamers, but also some of those PC content creators that are maybe using controller or maybe trying those touchscreen controls for the very first time.
It is really exciting to see such unity between the COD universe. I mean, we can call it the COD multiverse. And also, take a look at that. Tim the Tatman. I mean, we got legends over here, and not just from the mobile aspect, but also PC, console. Everyone's coming together. And it is really just going to be interesting how all of these players work, because playstyles are going to be different between mobile, between PC and console, which will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, cross progression, of course, so everybody's getting their hands on Warzone Mobile. You're seeing Metalcore on here. I saw The Only Shady. We saw Ducky. I mean, Bobby, talk to me about a couple more names popping out to you.
I mean, it's just icons across the board. I personally am actually like a Tim the Tatman fanboy, so seeing him drop into Verdansk, I'm probably just going to watch back the entire stream after we're done with this 12-hour broadcast. Sure. I'm not going to sleep at all, but just so many big names. Obviously, you got Myth on there as well. You've got got washed COD Mobile Pro players like Little B who are going to be showing up and seeing what he can do. And I've seen him snipe on Verdansk, and he's brought over some of that talent. So we'll see what he can bring to the table.
Can you say that they talk about his snipes, or?
Nah, that's just me.
I mean, you already said it a while ago. Like, I want to see the reactions of people who actually played Verdansk before and just drop into it. I feel like the nostalgia factor is just going to be so heavy-handed here, and it's really going to be interesting to see how their faces are going to be like.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's like you.
I literally, I think I teared up when I dropped in for the very first time. We're in the green room. Bobby's already won a couple games today, by the way. So we're in the green room, and I'm just watching. He was like, oh, there's a camper on ATC. I'm like, I haven't heard those words in like years. This is beautiful. So excited to see all of our content creators, and I totally agree. I'll be watching back a lot of their streams. You can tune into all of their streams. They're all live all over the place, all of the different live streaming platforms, and we'll be live here for the next 36 hours as well, watching some of those streams. So a lot of amazing content creators we will be talking about today. And you look, I think as we kind of go into this kind of next section, the big note I have is about who of these content creators are going to be some of the top players in Warzone Mobile, right? Because like whenever we talk about a new game, kind of a brand new release, people grind, and they grind a crazy amount of hours on the first day. So, I mean, Bobby, who's a couple of those big grinder names that come to mind?
I mean, obviously, you got to look at the content creators. You got people like Godsley, like Noah, who have just been dominating mobile games for years at this point. Obviously, Ferg's kind of a given, but that's another player that you know is going to be at the top and is probably going to be streaming for 24 hours plus, just because he's that type of guy. He's going to put in the work and make sure he's at the top of his game. But there's definitely some smaller guys to keep your eyes on. I think guys like Ken Strafes, like very underrated, just because he's a smaller content creator, but has been cracked out across multiple titles over the last couple mobile games that have launched, and he's dominated every single one of them.
I love that. I mean, Beef Mommy, any other names that come to mind?
Easy. You got the pro players that have been doing this thing for years now. We got Tectonic. I saw his name there a while ago. Little B, he was a former pro player as well. So definitely going to watch out for those people. I know it's mostly like multiplayer, but they can definitely bring that into the Warzone map that we love, Verdansk. And also, when it comes to a big map like that, it's a different kind of mechanic. So that's why I'm really excited to see how multiplayer players could actually bring it down into such a huge map.
It's a great point, and a lot of conversation can happen around that. But we had a chance to actually talk to Imal, Roballo, and Rose Smith, who are definitely going to be amongst that crew of grinders. So let's hear what they had to say.
I am so excited for Warzone Mobile.
Dude, I'm out like staggered about this.
The fact that we have multiplayer maps and BR in one game, you know, like that's...
And I've been a Warzone player since Verdansk. So having that come to mobile.
I love the fact that it's got cross progression, which means I can play on PC and console, and then I can switch over to mobile and keep all my weapon skins, battle pass skins.
Like having Warzone Mobile while being mobile is insane. The cross progression system, I think that's incredible.
We've got Modern Warfare 3 movement in Warzone Mobile is insane. It's exactly like the PC and console version. And
I'm gonna get my hands to the game. I'm grinding it all day long.
The fact that they've been able to add not only Verdansk, but also a ton of multiplayer maps all into a mobile device is incredible.
Well, another word you're going to hear all day today is incredible. No question about it. I know all of our content creators are super excited. And I think, you know, talking about what some of our content creators have been chatting about and what they're kind of working towards, it is all about leveling up their weapons, right? You've got to get into some of these metas. Everybody's already trying to figure out what the meta is. That's classic Call of Duty. And I think when you look back on kind of the beginning of Verdansk and the beginning of Warzone, you look at some of these content creators that got their start in Warzone by being loadout aficionados. I mean, Bobby, you know a lot about that. A lot of people make loadout videos. So what are some of the weapons maybe you're keeping your eyes on if you can kind of help out some of our viewers at home?
I mean, the three that, like, especially if you're just starting out in Warzone Mobile, like brand new account, you want to know what you can unlock the first that's actually going to be good. There's something called the Arsenal store, which is actually unique to Warzone Mobile that lets you unlock things that have only been available on the PC and console side of things. So actually just by playing the game, you can unlock tokens that you use there. The Ram 7's available there. Yep. That's arguably the best AR in the game. The HRM, arguably the best SMG. And then the MTZ556, I believe you unlock at level 12. stealth. So those 3 unlockable very early on and pretty dominant weapons. So if you're just getting started, those would be my recommendations.
Look, I don't know if you all knew, but Bobby plays as a content creator. He knows his stuff. Okay, I think he made a video on this already. So.
Yeah, I posted that video last night.
Oh, okay. No wonder.
Incredible. All right. Well, hey, I'm really excited to talk to more of our content creators as well. And I think as we go into it, it'll be fun to watch the kind of play styles evolve. Beef Mommy, you were talking about multiplayer players getting into Warzone and kind of their efficiency in the game, because map knowledge is everything. So what do you think from a kind of newer player with Verdansk, like your main goal is when you hop into Verdansk?
Honestly, I've been a COD player for years now, and so hopping into those multiplayer maps, it wasn't really much of a struggle, but since it was my first time in Verdansk, that BR type of gameplay, I was so lost. But at the same time, I have been watching a bunch of streamers play it, so that's why I know where to drop. I know what places to avoid. I ain't going to top prison. I ain't going to prison at all. Superstore. I'm avoiding all of those crowded areas. I'm going to the outskirts, man.
We're going to have so much time to talk about Verdansk, Rebirth Island, our multiplayer maps, so much going on. It's time, though, for our first look at some gameplay here on main broadcast. We're going to be tapping into Kinstrafe's stream, which, Bobby, you called him out. So let's take a look at some of the gameplay and see where he's at. That is definitely Verdansk, my friends. Bobby, it is so good to see some gameplay on screen.
Yeah, and Ken, once again, he's known for his gameplay, but definitely somebody I would consider a little bit of a movement god whenever it comes to any game that he plays, and naturally that's something he's going to be bringing into Verdansk. They are gradually trying to introduce some of those Modern Warfare 3 mechanics. High alert, going to give him some information right there. Not sure how many people left, but this is a tight circle, but he's definitely more than capable of handling it. Looks like probably solo as his teammates been taken down as well.
Man, it is so interesting to see what kind of perks that all of these players are going to be rocking as well. Like what you said already, high alert, you're going to be having that dead eye. That's definitely going to be really one of the more popular perks that we actually see here alongside the warden. That's going to be more aggressive. But yeah, it really is important as well if you're going to potentially become a pro player to know what kind of perks you'll be using along with your teammates.
I love how deep into the analysis we're already getting, and I'm just staring at the map like, we're back.
Nostalgia hits.
Look, he's going for the throwing knife play. This is Call of Duty, my friends. Already grabbing another knock here as we're into the final circle. First look on to
Oh no! Oh my goodness.
And he get the win on broadcast? I don't even know if he knows we're watching, but congratulations, my friend. First win on broadcast. We'll continue to hop around to some different streams as we kind of get our first look. And now we're moving over to Rebirth Island, which is obviously a fan favorite. You know, Beef Mommy, talk to me about Rebirth Island, because this is something that's been around for a long time as well. And genuinely, content creators have made so many videos on
I know. I was literally just watching yesterday a streamer just go crazy over in Alcatraz. Like for me, I love this map just because of how tight everything is. I'm more of a aggressive player, so I definitely sport that warden, but you already know that most of these players in this map will be sporting SMGs like the AMR9.
Yeah, look, I mean, Bobby, when you think about Resurgence, what's your mentality around Battle Royales? Because that's the thing about Warzone Mobile. It literally has something for everyone, right? Everybody's got different playstyles. Everybody's got something that they prefer, whether it's big map BR, we've got Mobile Royale, and then of course we have Resurgence, which allows you to play a little bit more loosey-goosey. If you go down, just make sure your teammates stay alive and you'll be flying right back in.
Yeah, I was actually, there's like a Warzone Mobile scrim server, and they've been playing scrims in the game for the last 9 months, and they've pretty much exclusively been playing Rebirth Island just because, like, that's where you can get the most gunfights. That's where you have the ability to really hone in your gun skill, and that's part of the reason why these content creators do love it so much. Even when it comes to custom lobbies, because just everybody landing on each other over and over and over again to see who does have the best gun skill in those scenarios. So Little B's another person that I know has been putting in a lot of work, especially in those Rebirth Island customs, and you've got some other big names on his team like Rabalo in Space as well, obviously, especially for people that have watched watch competitive COD Mobile, those are 3 guys that anybody's going to recognize, and looks like they're off to a solid start here.
Man, I'd be scared to be in the same lobby as them, dude. They're like shredding. And like what you mentioned, what we've been mentioning in the broadcast is like all these pro players just from MP moving to BR, you already know that it's just that good of a gameplay and that they really are grinding this in the last few months that it's been in alpha, in beta, and we've seen such key differences, especially in terms of even the graphics.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great shot. I mean, I think it's been proven on main stage. As we tune in over to Ferg, that map knowledge is a lot, but technical skill is near everything, right? You have to have both, and so these players have been working on their technical skill. But back to Verdansk we go, and first drop with Ferg himself. Talk about a grinder, by the way. This guy is putting in insane hours. I think he's already been live for like 6-7 hours. He's gonna be live for the next, like, I don't know, 5 days? Like, who knows?
Yeah, I know that at the start of like any new game, he's live for like a minimum of 32 hours. So fully expecting him to maybe even match the entire duration of our broadcast and then some, given the fact that he started like 8 hours before we did. He's going to be grinding, and as you can see, he's playing 120 player quads. So my assumption is he's probably trying to go for some records right now. That's something that he's been known for in the past. And obviously, we don't have ranked leaderboards yet in Warzone Mobile, but I think that the next step in that process is trying to farm as many kills as you possibly can. And especially now that it's full real person lobbies, it's that much more meaningful.
Yeah, 120 player lobbies. Also, can I just pause our analysis here and excitement around? I'm so excited about Superstore. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a hot drop on Superstore. Are you joking? Couple beatdowns early. This man is flying around Superstore, looting.
He's gonna do it.
There's so much nostalgia. Yeah, grab an execution while you're at it, Ferg. I love this.
You know what? I want to see something that's super fun from Ferg is to just have execution kills, like for the entire lobby. I'm pretty sure someone's done it already, but I want Ferg to do it. Like we keep mentioning, he wants to be #1 at every game that he's been playing. And let's see, because I think this time around he might have a difficult time because we see streamers like Bobby, Godsley, and Noah just putting in the hours as well.
Yeah, specifically Bobby, putting in a ton of hours.
Specifically Bobby, casting and playing at the same time. What a guy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I love that we get a chance to see Superstore early. There's a ton of hot drops on Verdansk, but everything might change now that everybody maybe knows the map already, or maybe you're experiencing it for the first time. I know airport area with the hangars has always been a popular kind of streamer spot as well. So a classic cluster mine inside, just in case Ferg gets pushed, but I think he's going to be the one playing a bit more aggressive here, Bobby.
Yeah, I got a little deja vu because I 1v2'd Hawk's Nest and Noah in this exact same spot the other day. So definitely somewhere that it has positive memories for me, given that nothing like that has ever happened in my entire gaming career. Gunfight doesn't go Ferg's way, but part of the beauty of Warzone is you got the gulag, you get a chance at redemption, and if you play it well, a free kill as well.
Yeah, not just the gulag, but the showers, which is such a classic kind of ode to the past, right? Well, look, we're going to be tuning into gameplay all day today, but we have a very special person going to be joining us here in the booth. It is Chris Plummer, who I'm sure you've seen videos and updates around the game from Chris. He's been putting out so much content for us. Chris, it is so good to have you, of course, head of mobile at Activision Blizzard. How does it feel? You're here, global launch. We finally made it.
All right, today's really exciting. We've been watching players stream in. We've been entering those hot lobbies and just seeing what it's like to experience the real thing now, finally. And it does feel so different, you know, when all the players are real and they're really going after you. It's so exhilarating. So we're excited to be here with you guys and, you know, share this moment with all the players. So thanks for inviting us on.
Yeah, look, Chris, I was watching Winsanity stream last night, and he was like, this feels like scrim lobbies. Why is everyone so sweaty? And I think it's because everybody's been so ready to be here, and they're going to put in so many hours, and I know we're all excited about it. But, I mean, Chris, I think first question for you is just like, you've had a long history of kind of building up this game. What does it look like kind of now that we're here, looking back on where you started?
So, you know, when we started this game, the real thing we wanted to do was connect our audience across all platforms, and you know, mobile being the biggest platform in the world, it was super important for mobile to be a part of that. And we saw with games like, when Warzone came out on console and PC, how our Call of Duty community was really able to kind of start talking about the same stuff. They had the shared progression. They had a shared kind of conversation. And we wanted mobile to be a part of that. But in order to do it, we needed to be on the Call of Duty tech, because that's what enables the cross progression. That's what enables, like, the shared battle pass and all that stuff. And so that's where it started. And then kind of as we went, we started to unlock other things like, hey, wait a minute, we can do a lot more players, like real players, because we're using Demonware technology and we got the COD tech. And so just one thing after another started to kind of fall into place. So although we started with this ambition to kind of really get the whole Call of Duty community together and give them a way to kind of, experience a shared a shared aspiration and kind of a shared conversation, it turned into so much more than that with the 120 players, with, being able to actually have this really advanced visuals as well as support 6 generations of devices, and then be able to roll forward with that into the future. So that's kind of how it started. But like, honestly, it's starting today. Like, this is what it's really starting.
It feels surreal that we're actually doing this, because we've been talking about this in COD Next for the last 2 years, man. And it's just so nice that we finally get to see the game up and running. Have you played it? What's your favorite part of the game? I just wanted to have your own personal take on it, because I know we can be technical and stuff, but I want to know what your personal thoughts are. What's your favorite thing here?
I guess I'm kind of old school on Battle Royale, so I really like getting into the full quads on BR, and I love the strategy of it. I like the kind of phases of the game. I like how social it is in order to to really coordinate and stuff with your squaddies, but like, you don't have to. You can kind of split off and stuff and regroup later. And just with the real players now, it's like the level of intensity and anxiety around what could be around the next corner is like so much higher. So I really like that. But I mean, like, it's fun to play all the different modes. I love going into Rebirth Resurgence. It's such an awesome map. It's so much fun to kind of, explore and like have all the loot and stuff respawning. So it's like got so much more going on. And then of course MP, and you're playing Shoot the Ship. It's like the ultimate way to grind camos. But if I'm playing like, for funsies, that I'm probably jumping into the full BR with the blood.
Obviously, the game has come really far since COD Next of 2022, but I think most people that have been playing the game over that time would agree, like, the biggest jump that has been made is in the updates that have happened over the past month. What's your favorite thing that they've been able to implement in these past couple of updates that you think people will enjoy?
I think what we've been almost surprised by the progress on recently was just being able to take the visuals a lot further. I mean, we always set a really high bar and felt like we were never getting all the way to it. And as time went on and you get more into optimization and stuff, you start to find ways to make it happen. And so we have a bunch of technologies that all kind of came together toward the end. We have much higher fidelity graphics on kind of across the board. We have peak graphics for a few devices, which is more of like it's almost like an R&D example of what we can do into the future, and we'll just keep doing that as new devices come out. But we had the streaming technology, which really made a lot of that possible. So like, you can install the game. It's a relatively, it's a reasonable install footprint. This is a sophisticated game, so you're going to have some space on your device. But then the game, is streaming the assets, and it's actually managing that as you play. So you're not just going to bloat infinitely, as we add content. We're like managing that stuff smartly. So I think being able to up the caliber of the visuals and then be able to do that in a way that kind of we can manage your device footprint and stuff. I think, I'm really excited by that, because it really starts to feel like, it rivals other platforms at times, if you're running it on the latest device. And then when I go back to, I remember when we announced it at Next a couple years ago, and we were playing Verdansk then, and at that time it was like, man, this is Verdansk. It's like, wow, this is bringing back memories. And that's kind of like what our min-spec visuals and performance is today. So we've been able to kind of like move the needle so much further across the board, and now, because we weren't running on our min spec at that time, but now that fidelity is what's actually running now. I think it's important for players to understand that because we have this kind of sophisticated engine, they are going to need to play a few matches in a lot of cases in order to stream down all those high fidelity visuals. I've even heard cases where like maybe it can look lower fidelity at first until it's streaming in. And so like as you play, you're going to find match to match to match, like all of a sudden the visuals are getting better and better, and that's streaming technology at work. So give it a few matches and you may be surprised at how much better it gets.
No, I love that answer too, because I think a lot of people at home are trying to figure out what's the optimal, and I'm sure there's 1,000 content creators making videos on what the optimal settings are. But talk to me a little bit about some of the developments you all have made around kind of battery life and heating and cooling and things like that, because I know that's been a big emphasis the last couple months.
So I think things like battery and thermals are like they're a never-ending journey when you're developing for mobile platforms, and we've made a lot of progress there. We've also exposed things in the options settings so you can prioritize your battery life if you want to. There's also certain features we were bundling together in the settings before that now we've kind of like separated them out so people can be a little bit more a la carte in how they customize their performance and visuals of the game. But certain things will always it's kind of like punching the gas in your car. Like the faster you go, it's gonna burn, right?
Sure.
And the same is true on any mobile game that's using high fidelity visuals. So if you're running at a faster frame rate, that's gonna heat up your device more than if you're running at a lower frame rate. And we let you choose those things because sometimes maybe you're on the go and you just want to make sure you're reserving your battery, or you're keeping things cool and you're okay playing at 60 instead of uncapped, or 30 instead of 60. And those are all options for you to kind of manage it. And of course, a lot of the folks who are streaming today, they have all kinds of interesting contraptions to connect the device, super cool. And apparently, if you do that, you can trick the device into doing all kinds of performance stuff. But yeah, I mean, we've tried to expose that stuff so players can choose, and we'll keep doing that sort of thing over time.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly what I was doing last night. I was trying to trick my phone to get the max uncapped, unchaotic type of gameplay that I could actually have. So one thing that not only can you customize your cell phone and your loadout, but I want to talk about Battle Pass or anything that is actually mobile exclusive, because we keep saying that yes, it is going to be cross progression, but are there any things that mobile has to offer that either PC or console won't have?
There are a few things, yes, and I think first I'll say there's the content that's available that is connected to the rest of the franchise. It's really important to check that stuff out, because when you see what's in the Battle Pass, for example, on Warzone Mobile, I mean, the caliber of that content, I'd put against any game out there to even come close to put that stuff in their Battle Pass. I mean, it is ridiculous content. It's made by the same developers who are making AAA console and PC, and it's now on your phone. So we're really, really proud of that. But on top of that, we know the mobile players have additional things that they like, different tastes, different types of content that are appealing. So we're augmenting that with additional content. There's some what we call them WZM or Warzone Mobile OG bundles and stuff. They're unique to Warzone Mobile. We have events in Warzone Mobile that have exclusive content. In fact, when Operation Day Zero kicks off tomorrow, there's some exclusive rewards in Operation Day Zero that are exclusive to mobile. We also have some rewards that everyone in the community across all COD platforms can unlock, but we have some mobile-specific ones too. So we realize that there's different tastes and stuff, and then we have additional content that's even more elaborate. That's more collect all 10 items and keeps, and those will be dropping less frequently, but we have a few of those as well. So we're trying to just provide a really well-rounded offering of content that includes connected content that you can find on the AAA console and PC titles, and also mobile-specific content to just round out the overall offering.
I know because Warzone Mobile is built on the Call of Duty engine, that's presented some challenges, especially in regards to optimization, that probably a lot of mobile games have never faced. What does that optimization process look like moving forward as you guys continue to try to work with more chipset providers, phone makers, whatever that would look like?
Yeah, so optimization is, again, it's an ongoing thing. So we work directly with the chips makers on both Android and iOS, and make sure that we want to understand how to maximize the performance we can get out of them, and also where are the gains that we can make to make them run more efficiently over time, and even unlock new crazy features in the future when new technologies come along. So I think that's started very early on. We needed to get on our min spec first in order to really start, improving the performance. And for people who've been watching the game's development since, let's say, last summer when we started to show up on our min spec devices, performance has improved a lot. And I think, as time goes on, we'll find other ways to unlock performance. It's just the nature of the beast. But it's been an exciting journey, as it always is on mobile, because there's so many different devices to support. It's a really interesting and compelling technical challenge that a lot of our developers enjoy.
I love that answer, Chris. Now, while we've been talking, I don't know if you noticed, we've had Ferg's gameplay going, and obviously a very talented player. We want to show you just what happened just a moment ago on Verdansk while we were talking.
Is he taking out a whole squad?
He's taking out a whole squad, Chris. look, this is exactly what we expect from Ferg. Talk to me just about your first kind of reactions around watching some high-level gameplay here from Ferg.
I love how he aims for the head, you know.
Yeah.
It's automatic.
This is how it's done. Aim high.
Hey, aim small, miss small, Chris. That's the strategy, I think, for a lot of our top-level players. I mean, I love that he's playing from the gas, too. This is such a classic Warzone moment.
And just you've got to make sure that you always have a gas mask on. I've seen multiple streamers just absolutely sport this, and he's playing it to perfection.
Yeah, he's so calm because he knows. He's watching his health go down, but he's like, I got this.
Timothy.
I love because he gives the I'm him call, and then he also says I'm dead, and then he still survives the entire situation somehow.
And he's still staying right on the perimeter. He's like, okay, I got this. I still got a little bit of breath in me. All right, catch my breath. Look out. Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy the levels these guys are able to reach. Obviously, with mobile shooters being around as long as they have, so many of these guys have refined their movement, their aim, and finding ways to adapt it. Because there are, I think, also some unique settings for Warzone Mobile, and the fact that you do have the cross availability for controller players to play alongside mobile players, I think is really cool because it does give mobile players finally an opportunity to showcase that they are able to compete against those other inputs as well.
Actually, I wanted to ask you, Chris, like, how is it like to balance out the mobile players and also the controller players? Because obviously it's a little bit different, and we obviously also hear a lot about aim assist here.
Yeah, so aim assist is a part of the genre, but Call of Duty definitely has its own secret sauce when it comes to handling aim assist, and we have that system in Warzone Mobile. What we think is really interesting is when you watch players like, we're watching Ferg here. He's clearly 100% touch, and will probably challenge anybody on a controller and say, I'll smoke you. And that's the reality, right? There's people who will absolutely dominate with touch, and there are people who dominate, with controllers and stuff. And it's like, they're all have their different strengths and weaknesses. And right now what we're trying to do is like, let's watch and see, because we can see in the data, like exactly what's going on in terms of like, is a weapon too OP? Is a control configuration OP? Is there something that's throwing off the balance? I think there's a lot of psychological warfare here as well. It's like, is it really problematic or not? But if it is, we can separate the lobbies. Right now, we're letting people play together because we want to see and we want to measure and watch and see how it goes. But like any live game, we're going to make adjustments.
Yeah, and we've kind of been swapping now into perspective, so we've got Mago on screen. And look, I think when you talk about controllers versus touchscreens, there's one common denominator. It's still Warzone, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's so special. I mean, you've got Tim the Tatman probably dying to fall damage somewhere off stream. And just because we're playing Warzone Mobile, nothing changes, right? And look, Chris, I just love the fact that this is cross progression and you can level your weapons and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about weapon balancing. Like, is it the exact same? Is there kind of a different formula? Anything that you can share around that?
So a lot of energy goes into balancing the weapons across Call of Duty franchise and make sure like the meta is intact and things are balanced in a good way. So we start with the same tuning for the weapons, not for everything in the game, but for the weapons specifically, we do try to carry the tuning over, and then we can make modifications to it if we see that there's something about the way mobile players are playing or the way the character or the weapon feels on mobile is a little bit off or something. We can fine tune it from there, but we start with the tuning that's used across the franchise.
I love that answer too, because I know there's a lot of content creators also watching this broadcast, so now that they've heard that, they can go make their videos around that.
Yeah, you're giving them ideas.
You're gonna see a lot of content going around. Look, there are loadout aficionados that started in Warzone, right?
Yeah.
And they've kind of created a career around that. And I even know, like, I'll shout out JGod. I know he's a big PC creator for loadouts, and he's trying to make more videos around Warzone Mobile. Like, that's what the accessibility you've created with controller kind of support here. Non-mobile players, non-mobile mobile endemic players can hop in and feel at home, which is really, really cool.
Bobby knows where to get the meta weapons.
Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing is like coming into the Warzone space, like on the mobile side, it's always been the creators that have had to like figure out the numbers. How does each weapon compare to the other? What's the weapon that is going to be meta? But you've got all these websites that have databases on databases of all the different numbers for these guns.
Yeah.
Even if they're not like available in the game, they've just been studying, testing, doing all these things to see what's the best. And it's made my life really easy because I don't have to do any of that testing myself. I just looked at the website, I was like, wow, this has literally every single possible stat that you could want for a weapon, and they even give like ratings for the different categories and everything else. I was like, this makes my life a lot easier, so I'm certainly happy for it.
And I love that you mentioned that because as someone who is a newer player when it comes to BR, the learning curve could be absolutely insane. It's hard for me to actually learn BR, but with websites like that and content creators actually putting in the work to give me, hey, do this loadout. That's exactly what I did this morning. I was watching Parker the Slayer, and he was like, you know what? If you're a newer player, maybe you'd want to go for an LMG because you can literally just finish all of your mags in that one player that you're missing.
It's a great shout. And I think, Chris, one of the cool parts we were talking about right before you hopped on is that there's something for every type of player. You've got multiplayer maps. You've got, of course, Rebirth. We're seeing that right now from Ducky, great content creator. And then, of course, you've got your Verdansk and even Mobile Royale. So talk to me about a little bit about that process and what your team's mentality was around including all of that.
Yeah, so that's a good question because we really want to have to strike this balance between here's what I expect from a Warzone experience, and then here's what I need in a mobile experience.
Right.
And they're they're not always 100% exactly the same thing. So we'll have things like the classic 20-minute BR with quads, which feels very like nostalgic and authentic to BR, but on mobile, you don't always have 20 minutes to play, and you might need a shorter session. So we tested a lot of different shorter session formats for BR, and it's more than just making it shorter. I mean, you have to do a lot of things to tuning across the entire game in order to make that feel right. And we were like, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. The 10-minute version, which we call Mobile Royale, is actually our most popular mode right now.
It's my favorite mode by a mile. It's super addicting.
And so you get all the phases of a BR experience, but it's in a more compressed timetable. So so that one is an example of like trying to marry the old with the new, and like what's kind of like classic and expected, and then what do you actually need?
Right.
It's like what do you really want versus what do you think you want? And so we have a little bit of both there. And then I think on the other modes like Rebirth, Resurgence, this is just a super popular mode that we think is like a great transition between Battle Royale and MP. And an MP is obviously the most frenetic. And if I were to put like difficulty ratings on the modes, I would probably put the highest difficulty on MP.
Yeah.
Because it's just some of the players are so good and it's so fast, and you really you'll get to know Call of Duty pretty quickly that way. But for folks who are coming in new, the thing to realize is like all of our most passionate players are in right now, and they're all playing like nonstop. And so if you're gonna get killed a lot ever in this game, it's right now. So it will kind of even out. Other players will get good. The pro players and stuff won't all be in every day at the same time and stuff like that. But right now it's intense. Mobile gaming did just get real. And I found out a few times it was went live. And it's really fun, but yeah, it's different. If you're used to playing with bots, especially, it's like it's very different when you're playing against humans.
And that's definitely like the best part about Warzone Mobile is the fact that you're playing with real people, and you basically described my whole morning, just me dying to all of these sweaty players that have been. It looks like they've been playing for like 3 years now. But something that I really wanted to talk about, I'm so curious, like with BR and especially with a mobile device, there's a lot of buttons for us to go and press. Like, how is the process of you choosing, like, okay, this is an individual button over here, and we're going to be grouping all of these things together? Because I was actually putting my HUD together last night, and it was so difficult for me, like, oh, that's a lot of buttons. But after I laid everything out and basically put all of the like buttons together, like, how was the process of including that?
Yeah, so that is an essential part, I think, of getting good at the game, by the way, is like configuring your HUD and stuff to be just the way you want it. We always say, like, make it fit like a glove, because it really is, you know, for most people where their fingers are going to touch and stuff. When you first get to the HUD configuration UI, realize that it's throwing a lot of stuff on screen that you will never see all at the same time, but we're doing it so that you know that button could appear. So, like, if you want to throw a grenade back, you know, icon, you don't want it to overlap maybe something else, even though throw a grenade back isn't going to happen very often, hopefully. Today it might happen.
I feel like it happens often.
But there's a lot of things like that. And so so first I just want to disclose, like, you should be aware when you look at the HUD configuration, this is more of like, hey, this stuff could all come on in some sequence, but never all at the same time. You can do filters for things like driving and airdropping and air vehicle controls and stuff like that in MP, so you can filter out some of the noise. But there's a lot of potential options that you can actually play with, and you should try them and keep iterating on it until it feels right for you. And there's so many different, a lot of it comes down to preference, right? Like even ADS, like some people like to toggle ADS on and off, some people like to hold it, you know, and it's like, honestly, you should try both ways and see what feels best for you. You know, most people will end up going manual fire because you get a lot more precision that way. But, you know, if you know people are just onboarding, auto fire is a fine way to get to know how to play the game, and so you kind of feel more dexterous. But what I like to do is I kind of like put everything in the orbit range of my thumb.
Yeah,
sure. In like lazy mode, and so I'm like controlling down here, and then I'm like pushing up here for everything else. And there's things I heard you talking about, the finishing moves and executions, like, you know. I personally get a lot of satisfaction. So I have that button like ridiculously big, so I can make sure I definitely get the execution in when I can. So, you know, I don't have to do that. It's probably not a very important thing. I don't recommend everyone do that, but like for me personally, I want to do that. Other people like to do the weapon inspect and show off their cool weapon. Right. You don't have to do that one either. But so there's a lot of things in there. And another one is on automations. I want to talk about that for a second, because I know a lot of the better players in particular like turn all that stuff off and they get rid of the HUD on it. But but I'll also hear them say like, oh man, these towers in Verdansk downtown, man, all these, you know, 8 stories or whatever. Well, we have an automation for that. The reason that's there, it doesn't force you to automatically take the stairs, but like when you're on a stairwell, you'll see this like stairs button, and you can tap and you'll just autopilot up there. If you get shot at, it'll stop. It's actually just really convenient. Like, I'll use it to like autopilot up, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do some armor plates. I'm gonna like reload, you know, do all this stuff, and you can kind of like chill instead of like having to pilot your way all the way up. Unless, of course, you know you're in a hot fight, and maybe you don't want to do that, and it'll interrupt anyway. So it's worth trying the different automations just to see what they do. But some of them have buttons on screen when you first try to configure your HUD, so you know it makes it look like it's there more often than it is.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you are a wealth of knowledge, and your passion is so evident. We really appreciate you coming here onto the broadcast and obviously celebrating global launch. Before I send you away, you've got to share some insight into your gameplay and your gameplay loop. Where do you drop? Where can people find you and try to kill you?
Wow. Let's see. I mean, it changes, right? I mean, everyone likes Superstore. It's kind of
That's right. Yeah, I like Superstore.
But you just know you're going to get stuff right away. So I mean, like you want to drop. I like to drop somewhere where I'm not going to have to wait very long to find a good weapon. So, you know, Superstore is my drop, but it is very, very sweaty. So I'm looking for backups. You know?
Okay, all right.
I'm looking for backups. So let me know your tips. You guys should like, you know, watch where these streamers are dropping today and see where the lucky spots are. But awesome. I just happy you guys are here, and we're really happy that all the influencers are here streaming and having a fun time with the game. It's just a beginning.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us, head of mobile at Activision Blizzard. Chris, you have been amazing here in the booth, but also thank you for all the updates as well on YouTube, all of the videos we've been watching a long way, and we're all super excited as per the usual. So, hey, folks at home, we're going to take a very short break. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to actually have a chance to talk to Ferg himself. He's going to be joining us remotely, so don't go anywhere and wait for that. Chris, thank you so much.
You better
If I hear the stream, then it will come through the my stream. But yeah, right. If you want me to hear the stream, I can make myself hear it, but it means my stream will also hear it. So I just muted it for now. Because they're trying to my stream's trying to see my Hemi Butler plays, you know? Holy. Whoever was on that team in that 1v4 is never gonna recover from that.
I hear a shot of a sniper. Maybe they dropped that. Bro, we need a car ASAP, bro. My feet are like burning. Bro, I feel like way like it's playable. This map is way different than the others. Like a BR, you know, like. Yeah, I mean, I like it, but like, I don't know, like in the other map, like it's all so tiny that everybody can kill, you know. And you can have your guns, and like if you have it, like, or you die, is somebody landing on? Oh, what the? You land on top? Might be dropping. I have one other guy. Yeah, he's not looking at me. Got him? What the? I crack him. Got him. Thank you, bro. We appreciate that. I'm about to change my name then. What's up, guy? It's cracked. It's cracked. He almost killed you? Or oh no, I'm looking at you. Yeah. How many UAVs? You have a number, buddy? Stay with 10k because you never know. I waste all my money and then we have your money, so we're chilling. Bro, we have a lot of people actually in hospital, bro. It's a lot. That's crazy. Oh no. They're here. Wait. They're here. What? You have UAV, right? Don't drop it. Yeah, I don't have angle on them. Oh, I have one. I got one.
Well, welcome back. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile Live. Goj, Beef Mommy, Bobby Plays. We are here. We've been talking with Chris. We've been talking about the game. We've been watching a ton of gameplay. That was your streamline. Every break, you'll be seeing a lot of gameplay. We're going to be live for the next 36 hours. And like I said before, we're going to be bringing in the one, the only Ferg here into the booth with us. He's going to be chatting with us about his experiences in Verdansk. And I know he's been grinding like crazy. So excited to see what he has to say. Oh, there he is.
I have.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. He goes, yeah, I have. Ferg, my man, look, I know you're a grinder. You've been playing a lot. You've been preparing for this moment. Just talk to me about how you're feeling.
I'm feeling great. I've been waiting for this game for over 2 years now. There's clips of me resurfacing currently that I think they're from like June 2022, where I'm talking about how excited I am for Warzone Mobile to finally launch. And here we are.
Hey Ferg, how you doing? The gameplay is looking very spicy. We saw highlights after highlights, and the number one question always with you is, do you plan to be the #1 player for Warzone Mobile?
Yeah, of course. As soon as they launch the leaderboards, I'll be there. Without a doubt. Like, there's nothing that will stop me from getting #1 in the leaderboards, no matter how much yapping goes on Twitter.
All right, I noticed you're playing 120 player quads. Are we going for the kill record right now? Are we just trying to farm as many clips as we possibly can? What's the game plan?
I don't really have a game plan. I just wanted to go into quads because it was the hardest mode. Like, I could play rebirth quads, but you get loads of respawns in that, and it's kind of like not as hardcore as Verdansk quads. So I just kind of hope that my teammates die, so then I can say that I'm playing solo squads. You know, that's what I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for solo squad wins.
Look, I think it's pretty obvious that you're going to just do whatever is the most difficult because you just want to be the best. Now, Ferg, I took a deep dive on your history. First of all, congratulations on over 3 million subscribers last month. That's huge on your main channel. Combined views between your multiple channels, I think you're a couple thousand views away from almost 1 billion views across the board. Content creation journey started back in June 2012 with a trick shot video from Modern Warfare 2, I'm pretty sure. Look, my man, are you dropping trick shot videos for Warzone Mobile? What's going on? You gonna bring it full circle?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. I'll do trick shots, especially if Verdansk can jump off some pretty high buildings, so why not?
Yeah, look, speaking of trick shots, we've kind of already seen an incredible play. Chris Plummer, actually, head of mobile at Activision Blizzard, had a chance to react to it as well. Let's roll that clip again for the broadcast, and Ferg, maybe you get a chance to watch this as well. Dude, you look great on this, and I love the gas play.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Bro, I don't know if you've seen before this clip, but I was fighting a different team, and they took away all my plates, dude. So this is a 1v4, no plates. I picked one up there. But then these guys all had loadies too. They picked up the loadie right in front of me. It was crazy, bro. I can't believe I actually did this and you guys seen it on stream. I think you guys seeing it on stream was what made me so hyped. Because everyone in my chat was like, they're watching you, they're watching you. So as soon as I did it, I was like, no way. And then at the end, you won't see it in this clip, but at the end, I actually died in the zone, but I had self. And I was like, no way, it's gonna let me in. And I got a slither of health to get into the zone right after.
Yeah, crazy. I was talking about that because I was watching. Chris was talking, but I was literally just watching your clip all the way through. I think a lot of people forget that even though, like, you and I, we mainly play multiplayer, we started out in battle royales. What is it about battle royale that really draws you in? Because I know we've both been playing multiplayer for the past 4.5 years, but I think we're both fully anticipating we just full send the battle royale side.
Absolutely. My favorite part of BRs is the solo squatting. Like, having the ability to 1v4 an entire team, there's just nothing that beats that in multiplayer. Like, BR is the only game mode that will have it, and that's I will always say this. I like BR more than I like multiplayer.
Ooh,
I mean,
shoot.
And the good thing that you have both here, so if you don't want to do BR, at least you have multiplayer 6v6. But one question I wanted to ask, because Goj actually brought it up a while ago, right? You just hit 3.1 million subscribers. Like, I know everyone is like saying that, yeah, what's the next country for you to catch when it comes to subscriber count?
Oh my god.
Please say China.
I guess. No chance. There's never, but probably, I said it was 1.8 million because that was Northern Ireland, which is like the little country that I live in. But Southern Ireland, I think, is like 6. So I'll go for them. And then if I combine it, it's like 8. I just want my entire island, like the little island that I live on, we're taking over the entire of the island.
Yeah, he's slowly gonna creep up outside of island. He's gonna go for the countries that are neighboring nearby. But honestly, when it comes to Warzone Mobile, I think you could actually get those numbers just because of like how much hype this has. I've been watching you stream, I've been watching everyone stream, and the numbers are actually insane here, Goes.
Yeah, a lot of viewers, a lot of opportunity for content creators. Ferg, you have a long, illustrious career at this point, my friend. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, okay, if Ferg's like one of the best, I need some strats, okay? Look, we've been talking metas. We've been talking map spots, drop spots, hot drops. I saw you drop in Superstore. Are you going Superstore every game these days? What's kind of your game plan?
Funnily enough, like, mobile players aren't hot dropping Superstore. Like, every time I have landed Superstore, there's maybe one team there. But if I go TV station, there's at least two. So I've been dropping there instead.
It's because they're scared of you, Ferg.
Yeah.
I think they've been watching your gameplay, and they're just scared to drop with the other streamers. Because that's the streamer hot drop. It's Superstore, or it was the hangars outside of airport for a while on PCs. So I've had the chance to cast thousands of hours of Verdansk, and those were always the hot drop spots. But hey, it's a brand new way to play, Verdansk, and so those things can change depending on where streamers go and who we want to avoid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, because Superstore was kind of like, especially back when I watched Verdansk streamers, that was where they always went, and I keep going there, and there's like one team. But like you said, I think the mobile players, obviously there's people that are still trying to get used to the controls and everything else, and that does require a little bit of adjusting.